Hi people, welcome back. We're looking at BBIG tonight because it's a really good day for BBIG. If you look at BBIG and how it's been moving over today, it somewhat does seem like an ordinary trading day, nothing out of the usual activities that we would expect. However, this is a significant day for one simple reason, in my opinion, and that is the fact that we have remained above $5 for the most part of the day, which is really good, and ultimately now we do appear to be seeing that consolidation above the $5 point. So overall, in this video, what I'm trying to do is talk about how the share price of BBIG is moving, and then go on to speak about what I am expecting going forwards into this week, because of course we have now had the Monday, we're going forwards into Tuesday tomorrow, and I think we're going to potentially see some good things for BBIG this week. We have a bit to talk about, of course, like I said, regarding the share price, but also I want to have a look at the options for BBIG, because options are expiring in 4 days, and we do have some good numbers for these options, but like I said, we'll get into all of that in just a moment. Now guys, as always, if it sounds good, leave a like on the video please, and do subscribe, share it with a friend, share it with a family member, or anywhere that you can. It would also be massively appreciated. But as always as well, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, it's just my personal opinion. But now that I have said that, we're going to jump into this video, and we're going to look at BBIG, and like I said, what we've noticed in the past day or so, when we look at the charts to start us off. So as always, we're going to simply look at these charts, the very basic ones, just to establish the moves that we have been seeing in the past 5 days, past month, and so on and so on. So what I want to do this time is actually start us off on the 1 month chart, if not actually the 6 month chart. So on the 6 month, we get to see what's been happening with BBIG. We had the big run up initially, which took us all the way to highs well above $10 on the 9th of September, but ever since basically we have been falling and falling and falling. Now over time, if we look to the candlestick charts and zoom out to the 6 month chart, one thing that you will hopefully be able to notice is that over time we've had these bars actually start to decrease in size, and what this ultimately means, in my opinion at least, and again not financial advice, but what I believe this means is that we're seeing momentum to the downside slow, and again at some point this is going to level out. We are going to find a bottom for this share price, and we are going to hopefully bounce off. Now it was looking like 6 could have been the point where we found some support, so $6 a few days ago in the last week, but unfortunately that did not stick. But now $5 does look like a reasonable level. You can see these candles are starting to decrease in size as time does go on, which is really good, and it shows that we could definitely be finding a bottom now for BBIG, and ultimately from the absolute bottom over here we have gone up a little bit, which is also a really good sign. But we'll get into all of that in a little while. What I'm just trying to say on the more complex charts, just to sum things up, a few of our indicators do show that a trend change could be coming, but like I said, I'll get into all of that in a minute. So in the past 6 months we've been seeing that pattern like I just explained, but in the past month we've just been seeing constant and steady drops. And this has a lot of people confused, it has a lot of people not knowing what to do with this stock, and I do understand it. Like I said, BBIG is potentially primed for a short squeeze. It has the data to back it up, in my opinion, but one thing that it doesn't really have as much as, for example, AMC or GME, it doesn't really have as much good DD on the actual technicals of the short squeeze. So we know about the fundamentals of the company, we know about the technicals of the stock, but we don't really know too much about the actual squeeze and what will happen with BBIG in that scenario, and what's going to happen leading up to it if we do have that potential. Because with AMC, for example, like I said, we have had that research going on behind the scenes all the time, more and more DD coming out, and it just allows investors to remain informed and remain bullish ultimately. We don't really have that so much with BBIG, but I think now we could be in a very good position, like I said, looking for that price to flip. So that's what we have seen in the past month, and this becomes a bit more clear now on the past 5 day chart. So we'll look at this more in the technicals in just a moment, but basically just to sum things up, bottom was around down here at about 495 or some point in the high 490s, and then from there we actually bounced up going forwards into Thursday. We had a big gap up at open, you can see, which is really good, but obviously from there we did start to fall all the way going forwards into late Friday. Now late Friday took us down to this level that we have seen before, about 495, or at least the high 490s, which is good, and again from there we have bounced off, which is fantastic as well, and we do appear for the most part of today to be stable for the majority of the day, which is a really good thing. And again, we actually have been traveling up by a nice amount today. We're up by 6.99%, so touching around 7%. Coming towards the end of day, we do have about an hour left, so anything could happen, but I think that we are definitely going to finish in the green, and probably by a really nice amount as well for BBIG. So that's one good thing that we have. That's obviously a bullish sign, but I'll talk more about this potential flip in trend in just a moment. What I want to focus on now is the options. So like I said, these are the options which are expiring in 4 days from now. Data is coming from bar chart, and you can see up here we do have an implied volatility figure of 168.32. We have a historic volatility figure of 109.55. And you can see going down a bit further for these options, we have volume figures which are listed down here, bear in mind guys, and these are the call options. We can see a lot of these are in the money, but going forwards into that 4-day period, we do want to see some more increases in price, because one thing that I do want to notice for you guys, or do want to note, at $5, we had a lot of these which were going to be in the money, or are still going to be in the money potentially if we do close above $5. Because what I want to really focus on here is, yeah, we do have some volume for, you know, $1, $2, $3, $5, $4.50, but a lot of this just coming from $5, $5.50, $6, all the way up to $7. So really, I think $7.50 is a very, very high estimate for this week, especially for the next 4 days. Whether that's going to happen or not, of course I would love for it to happen, and of course it's not impossible, but I think it is definitely on the very high bullish side of scenarios. So whilst it could happen, I don't want to focus too much on $7.50, but yeah, if we can get up there, we've got an extra volume figure of 2.6k, which is really good. But what I want to focus on is these ones closer to where we are right now, and how this could really affect the stock going forward. So volume down here, and like I said, we have good figures up at 750, good figures up at 7, even decent figures at 650. But as you can see, and as I'm sure you guys will know, I'm going to be looking at these ones coming up to 550, coming up to $6 as well. Now, $5.50 is absolutely not an unrealistic target for the end of this 4-day period. You can see already $5 is in the money, and there are a lot of calls in at $5, which is really good. But yeah, get up to 550, which we are really close to right now. Get up to that point, and we have an extra 11,370 in the money, which would be a really bullish thing, in my opinion, for this stock. Now, going a bit higher, get up to $6, which is not even too far away from where we are right now, and it certainly is more doable, in my opinion, in the next 4 days. If we can get up there, guys, we've got an extra 11.4k. So you can see what I'm trying to say here. Come up here, get these two in the money, get us up to $6, and we could potentially be looking at 22k plus calls in the money, which would be a really bullish thing for the stock, and it definitely could trigger a little bit of a gamma squeeze going forwards, as I'm sure you guys will know. As I'm sure you guys will remember, we have talked about a lot in the past, so we're not going to spend too much time explaining the mechanics of it, but it is definitely a really bullish sign. And again, it's something that is not far out of the money. Bear in mind, guys, a lot of the time when we look at this, we've seen options at $10, tons of them, they're all out of the money, and they're going to be. We see $7.50 being a big number sometimes, but really this time we're having good options. They're realistic, and they absolutely can be smashed in the next 4 days, in my opinion. I think it's absolutely possible that we can get all the way up to 550. It's something that we really can do. Get up to $6. It's not even too hard to do that right now. It's about 70 cents or so away from where we are, so you can understand how that is something that could happen. And coming out here to the amount of puts that are in the money, well, the data for this is not looking anywhere near as good. We have the volume here, and again, as you would expect, we have some puts which are at ridiculously low prices, because BBIG is probably not going to get to this point anytime soon, whether it be 2, 3, 4. But again, come up to a more reasonable level. I would say 450 could arguably be reasonable, all the way up to 750. Yeah, for the volume, we actually do have some okay numbers at 450. Now again, 450 is quite a way away from where we are right now. So that would anticipate that we are going to drop below 5 and actually drop below 450 going forwards into this week. And actually at 5 as well, if we do not make 5, we get an extra 2k options in the money for puts. So really you can see, we don't have too many puts in the money at the moment. We definitely do have, in my opinion, more calls in the money, which is a good sign. And going forwards into the future, we do have a big case potentially for a lot more calls to come in the money than puts, and that would be a really good sign for BBIG going forwards into this next week, and I think it definitely could be seen as a major catalyst. But what I wanted to look at, like I said, is the more technical charts, because everything in this video is looking quite good for BBIG. Like I said, we're up at 534 right now, so we are up by a nice amount on the day. On the 1 day chart, you can see we're sat almost exactly on that moving average. It's just a little bit lower than where we are, which is fine to be honest, guys, because bear in mind, we've been consolidating for the majority of the day. In my opinion, from about 1:30 in the morning, perhaps even 12:30, we've been consolidating. So I'm happy with what we are seeing for this moving average, and I'm actually happy with what we are seeing for the share price. And again, we do appear to be finding a bit of a support even higher right now, just above the 25, or sorry, just below the 525 mark. So about 520, perhaps 515, we do appear to be finding a bit of a support here, which is really good, and a bit higher up around 520, we appear to be finding support here and here as well, and of course here too. So you know what, guys? It could definitely be a level where we are going to be consolidating now above the 525 mark, which would be fantastic. But again, more of this will become clear in the next day or so as we do move forwards. But on the 1 day chart, we sat on a RSI figure of 48, which is fine. Again, bear in mind 50 is neutral, so 45 up to 52 now isn't too bad either. Trend on the MACD is also quite neutral, as you would expect, with not much movement for the majority of the day. On the 5 day, we are looking at a slightly bullish MACD with that turnaround coming. And again, like I said, we've been dipping over this time period. Now we appear to be finding a support at $5, which is fantastic, potentially seeing one higher than that in the day. But $5 is a level where we have historically found a support in the past 5 day period, and certainly at absolute lows we've dipped down to about 495, 494, something like that. But I would say 5 is a reasonably nice support. But anyway, getting back to it, we can see that the moving average is just a little bit lower than where we are right now, which is okay as well. Again, this is a lagging indicator, it tracks the past 5 days, so it is going to be a bit behind. The RSI figure is now creeping up to 57 because of that growth that we've seen towards the end of day. The MACD figure, like I said, is bullish, or at least coming bullish, which is fantastic. And on the past month, you can see the moving average is now higher than where we are right now, because it is going to be, it's a 50-day moving average, and it does track the past 50 days. And the past 50-day performance of this stock has been fantastic, and of course it has not yet had a chance to catch up, so it will level itself out. But ultimately, the RSI figure dipped down here, like I said, and now it appears to be coming back up, which is very good. And this is bringing us back to more neutral levels at 50, which is what we are looking for. So currently we're sat on 43, not too far to go until we are at neutral, which is good. And like I said, the trend on the MACD was bearish for a very long time, as we have been heading down in the past month, but this downwards trend has been losing momentum most recently. We appear to have found supports at 5, like I mentioned, and now we appear to also potentially be finding a bit of a bullish level on the MACD and potentially bouncing off that going forwards as well. So key things to take away from this stock, and what do I expect for this stock going forwards into tomorrow? Now, what I'm trying to say with this stock is, of course, I am a big fan of it. As I have mentioned before, I like to be bullish where I can, but sometimes I am bearish. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. In this one, I am feeling very, very bullish actually. I think we're in a fantastic position for this stock. I think now we are possibly looking at a bottom, and again, I say that loosely because it cannot be confirmed, but I think going forwards into tomorrow, if we continue to grow or at least stay flat, we have found a level where we are comfortable. Again, my next support level is at about 525. Below that, I'm looking for the $5 mark exactly, and below that, I'm looking at about 494. So you can see that's my few levels where I would be comfortable with the stock. So yeah, stay above 5 tomorrow, and I think we're in a fantastic position. See growth tomorrow. We are obviously moving upwards, which is fantastic, and it could indicate to a trend change actually forming a bit more clearly. And on top of that, move up tomorrow, and we are coming closer to having all of those options in the money. So you can see how this week is going to be a really big one for BBIG. It's going to indicate what happens next with the trend of the stock, and it's also going to indicate what happens in the next 4 days for these options. I think it's going to be a relatively big time period for the stock, and I think a lot of people should have their eyes on this one right now. I think it definitely is a promising play, whether you're using it as a short squeeze stock or even as a swing trade, or maybe even as a day trade. There is, some attention that should be put on this stock at the moment, in my personal opinion. Again, I am not a financial advisor, and this was not financial advice, but thank you for watching, and I will see you all again in another video, hopefully very, very soon. So thank you for watching through till the end, but let me tell you about our Discord. So on your screen you will be seeing the N2S Finance Discord. Obviously it is split into multiple sections. Basically at the top we have updates from me and all that kind of good stuff. If you scroll down a bit further, we have the main sections where we focus on cryptos, SPACs and other hot stocks, including penny stocks, even stable growth stocks as well, and we even have a special AMC GME chat. If you scroll down you can see some research and DD from the community. We also have funny memes, and you can see actual contributions from members down here. And again, if you do join us, it is completely free, link is down below. But if you do want to become a Patreon, you will actually get a pink sticker which will be displayed on your name. So your name will come up in pink as mine comes up in red down here, and that will show that you are a Patreon. But other than that, guys, you can join completely for free down below. You do not have to pay anything if you do not want to. Thank you for watching, see you soon.